have an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all want a ring. Yeah, we all want to be free.
That was somewhat of an S show, but this show is going to be better than the Lions versus the Steelers here, and we got a group of guys that are ready to talk some Detroit Lions. I'm going to just bring them in here. We got Mark Orem hiding his head right there from Orem's Forum. What's going on, hiding, Mark?
Hey, what's going on, guys, man? I'm glad this show's going to wake me up a little bit. Let's go.
We got Lion Rumble 81. What's going on, bud?
What's going on, fellas, man? Thank you for having me as always, man.
Hey, no problem. And we got the man without sleep. That is Anthony from War of the Lions UK. What's going on, Anthony?
Hey, I've been having trouble sleeping recently, but I found the antidote tonight. I'm going to go back and rewatch that game. About 10 minutes in, I'll be fast on.
Hey, that's facts. That game, oh, my God. Folks, we got 35 in the building. Let's get those likes up here. Let's shout out to the people in the building. There's a lot. John Ball, Gerald313, Jeff Murphy. We got Mark in there. Dale, what's up? 9 Drinks, Brent DeWitt, Salem King. They said I'm jumping off the rooftop. Dale, Mark, I'd be asleep. That put me to sleep. Lions douchebag. What is going on, folks? Let's get into this game, Mark. Initial thoughts when you see this game.
Oh, man, my initial thoughts, man, that was a snoozer, man. I was like, I don't think the Detroit Lions and Dan Campbell wanted to end the preseason like that. He didn't look like a very happy camper. There was a lot of things that they need to clean up on. I thought the offensive line played terrible. You know, they were okay in some, you know, they created a couple holes, but they couldn't pick up some blitzes. They were giving up too much pressure, I thought. And then, you know, like I said, the running game was okay, but the defense was that bend but don't break. But the offense put them in a bad situation a couple times. You know, our backup quarterback situation is absolutely horrific. I can't even begin to tell you how bad it is. And I don't think Dan Campbell even knew what to do there, man. He was supposed to play Boyle for the whole first half, and he ended up pulling him after the interception. Threw Blau in. Blau didn't look any really better. He almost had a couple mishaps himself. It was just an overall ugly game that I think that they didn't get a lot of answers for, man. Me and Anthony were kind of saying that in the room back there, man. There's a lot of questions unanswered. Now they got some decisions that they need to make, and I think it's going to be a little bit tougher. Maybe easier. Like maybe it will be easier for them, but I just think it was an overall ugly game, man. And it's not a way to end the third preseason game, in my opinion.
What do you think, Anthony? Overall, just going over it. We'll go over everything for you guys, but just initial thoughts.
I'm disappointed. I'm really, really disappointed. I felt like with the Colts game, we turned a bit of a corner. We saw the fight in the team. We saw guys standing up, wanting roster spots. You know, we went toe-to-toe with very good opposition. Now, don't get me wrong, Steelers are decent opposition, but on defense, you know, their offense is okay. And, you know, in a couple of days, a lot of people are going to be put out of work. A lot of guys are going to get cut from this team, and I was expecting more fight from a lot of them. I could probably show you on one hand how many players, for me, gave themselves a case to get on this team today. I could probably give you 3 or 4 hands of guys who put their spot in doubt because of how bad they played or just cut themselves off completely. I was heavily disappointed with this, and you know, I'm just, like Mark says, I've got more questions than answers before this. I had a set list of questions coming into this game. None of them got answered, and I've got more questions now, and that's not what I want before I'm about to cut down to my 53-man roster. I was just, disappointment is the word of the day for the most part of this.
Rumble, initial thoughts, and then we'll break it all down.
Man, I'm kind of with these guys. It was terrible. I thought we would see a much more competitive team. A bunch of the guys I played were those guys that are on the chopping block who are fighting for a roster spot. And I didn't get that essentially. What I got was a bunch of I don't know. They looked like they weren't focused. A bunch of not turning around, looking at the ball. A lot of fundamentals were like everything just looked sloppy to me. And uh, to what Mark and Anthony said, this was the final preseason game, and you thought a bunch of those mistakes would have been kind of wrapped up. But essentially, it just looked like, we just picked these guys up off the bus yesterday, and we told them, here, you're going to go play. They just looked frazzled. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, for sure.
let's go ahead and we're going to get the elephant out of the room right now. Backup quarterback, Tim Boyle, David Blau. Absolute butt cheeks. They're cheeks, folks. It's a disaster at backup quarterback position, an absolute dumpster fire. But with this dumpster fire, I think there's a little clarity. I think Tim Boyle lost it here. He was just worse. So I'm going to give it to David Blau. I think he won the job by default here. Mark, what do you think happened?
No, I totally agree with you, Mike. I think David Blau probably won this job by default. Dan Campbell was, he wanted to see if some guy was going to be able to step up. And not one of these guys stepped up and literally won the job. Boyle, I think, lost himself the job. And then you could see it on Boyle's face after he got pulled. He was like, yeah, I'm done. You could just tell, man, just by the look on his face. Then he come back in. He looked even more shocked when he came back in that first half. So the Dan Campbell was probably he was looking for someone to do something. And like I know, man, they were going up against the first team defense of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I get that. And there might have been a couple guys sitting here and there, but it's just a bad situation that we have. And I always say about the NFL, if your quarterback backup is in the game, you're in a lot of trouble anyways. But we don't even have a serviceable guy. Like there's not even a guy that we can even just count on just to hold on. Like just hold on for dear life. We don't even have one of those guys, man. Like if we got to have David Blau, if he wins his job, we got to have him dropping back to pass the ball. We're toast. We're done. So it's just that simple. And I think a lot of teams are like that, but especially us, that's all I really care about is Detroit Lions. But it's a bad situation. And Dan Campbell said a few days ago or last week that they're still thinking about possibly bringing somebody in.
They need to.
So I would not be shocked if they try to bring somebody in, cut Boyle, cut Blau. I don't know what they're going to do. I think Blau is going to be the guy, I guess, the backup. But I wouldn't be surprised if they brought somebody in immediately, just to put something under David Blau's behind, man, just to get him going.
Hey, I hear that. Well, it was the first string Seattle defense. Well, what do you think happens if Jared Goff goes down? That's
right.
The point of a backup. You're going to be facing first string defenses, okay? And we just seen there, as we've seen for last year, nothing's going to happen offensively. It's over. If Jared Goff goes down, if we got the game's over. We're not going to win a game. Who do you think won Rumble, overall with the quarterback battle?
Yeah, I'm with you guys. Blau by default, and that's saying a lot because, again, he had problems holding onto the ball. He had a couple fumbles, I believe. But Boyle was just throwing the ball as if the line was like 4 feet tall, like so many tip passes, and then again overthrowing. So I don't know what it is with him. His mental's off, but this was his time to show us. Again, he had 3 games to kind of, settle himself down, settle in, and unfortunately, I think he all but licked his stamp and mailed himself. He's out of here. Just no way.
Initial thoughts about the QB position there, Anthony. Who do you think won default? Do we need a new quarterback? If Mason Rudolph is let go, or if another quarterback is let go, are you going to look in that direction?
I mean, let's get this straight. Nobody won this battle. No one won that spot. Whoever gets it wins it by default of being the slightly less worse quarterback than the other. Blau probably has it. Blau has the heart. I'll give him that. He took a lot of hits tonight and carried on playing. And, the heart and the bravery. We used to love it with Stafford as well, but Stafford actually had the talent. That's probably why you're going to get Blau in there. But no one won this. That we need to make that explicitly clear. The second people start getting cut next week, the second some of these third string quarterbacks, other teams start getting cut, you put in a waiver claim and you bring them in immediately, because what we saw today was like in films when you see the like apocalyptic wasteland when society collapses. Today we saw the Lions defense when Jared Goff goes down. It is an apocalyptic wasteland which just does not function because the key component has died. And, it may seem like an overreaction, but we've seen it. We saw it with Blau years ago when Stafford got injured. He had a half season. He had Kenny Golladay and Marvin Jones and that to throw at. Couldn't win a game. We've seen it with Boyle last year. Couldn't win a game. Time to cut loose the pair of them and run and find someone else at this point, because, I'm willing to take fictional quarterbacks at this point to come back as up. That's how bad I believe
I'll
it is.
take Pinocchio. Hey, Pinocchio, you could be QB too. Let me know in the comment section, who do you think won the battle today? Blau or Boyle? Put D for David Blau. Put T for Tim Boyle. I suspect a lot of D's are going to be in this mug for sure. Now, look, we got that one out of the way, but there was a lot to take away that I think, we can talk about right now. Let's go ahead and start defense. Now, there's a lot of negatives offensively, but I thought there's a lot of positives on this defense. First off, Aidan Hutchinson, Charles Harris, and Austin Bryant are going to be wrecking balls in the NFL this year. Aidan Hutchinson sacked, Charles Harris sacked. I don't know who got credit for it because they both did it. And then Austin Bryant is a freaking monster in this mug. I think we got pass rush. Last year we didn't have any pass rush. I think we got it, Mark. Initial thoughts upon the edges for the Detroit Lions defensive line. I loved it, what I saw.
I absolutely love it, man. Aidan Hutchinson came to play. He looked good out there. Him and Charles Harris are going to be two nice bookends. They did what they were supposed to do. On that one sweep, it looked like Hutchinson got caught up a little bit, but that's going to happen. He jumped offside on one with a neutral zone infraction. But that's just him. He just needs to calm down a little bit. But he's the real deal, man. You could see that Pittsburgh O-line was jumping. That Pittsburgh O-line was nervous about that D-line today. They jumped offside a couple times. It looks like we have a pass rush. The defense had some very nice bright spots today. The offense didn't put them in any good situations. They went for it on that 1 4th down, like around their 20, 25-yard line. I'm hoping that Dan Campbell doesn't start doing that more again this year. But, it was preseason, so, let's just do it. Doesn't matter. And then they didn't give up a touchdown. They gave up only a field goal. And then the Boyle interception, they didn't give up a touchdown on that either. So they had that bend but don't break defense. They played well enough. There's a bunch of field goals by Pittsburgh. But I really like our D-line situation. I thought they went and went after Najee Harris pretty good today too. I really like that. He has some trouble. He had a couple decent runs, but he got hit hard, and his defense came to play today, man. And the offense just didn't give him any help.
What do you think about this one, Lions Rumble? It looked good.
Yeah, the D-line, to Mark's point, they were flying off the ball, man. They were ready. I don't know what Dan Campbell told them. I don't know what Aaron Glenn told them. Those boys came to play. Austin Bryant with the blocked field goal on special teams. I thought that was huge, man. Because again, they've been that's all they were giving up were field goals, and for him to go in there and keep the game close, gave the offense another chance. I can't put too much on the defense. Again, there was some plays, in the secondary, but that D line was on fire today. I'm excited for that front.
That was a big question mark, and I feel like from game 1, we sucked. Game 2, we got better. Game 3, it's looking pretty good. Now, what do you think about our defensive front there, Anthony, or edges? Did you get some good takeaway? Did you get some good feeling? I did. It was nice to see it.
I think Julian Okwara's out of a job because of Austin Bryant. I think, especially when his brother comes back off PUP, I think he's out of a job. I really do. I think he's cut. Austin Bryant has come in and done everything we've asked of him. He did well towards the end of last season, just like Julian did, but he's healthy. He's playing. He's contributing on the defense. He's contributing on special teams. You've got your main guys at edge rusher now. Bryant's now your leading candidate after that. I think, I like the situation that we're in there. So for the edge room, it's looking pretty decent. And the interior, I think it's looking good. I highlight him every single time I'm on here, but Demetrius Taylor had another great game today, in the limited play time he got. And for me, he's punched his ticket onto the 53. You need D-line depth. He provides it in a variety of different ways. And I've banged this drum since the beginning, and I was really, really happy with him. So I hope he makes it onto the team. I think a few other guys in there have given themselves strong cases as well. Like you said, the run game we kept in check for a lot. They were having to sort of bounce outside and get the yards on the edge because they just couldn't get it through the middle. We stuffed it, and we did really well. So the defensive line I was really happy with today, and I think we've got a lot of questions answered there. It's one of the few areas that we did. But shout out to Demetrius Taylor, shout out to Austin Bryant. They've really impressed, and I think they've really earned their way onto this team.
Shout out to Mark Orum's Todd Wash. Did a really good job at the defensive line position. Mark Wash there, he was looking good. Even the interior defensive line, stopping the run. Shout out to these guys. Much improved. I got to give a shout out to the linebackers in this game. This may be the best game that they've played so far in preseason. Derek Barnes stood out to me as a monster. He was all over the field, very physical guy. Alex Anzalone looked pretty good as well, and Malcolm Rodriguez. Dang it, that was good to see, because my biggest concern is linebackers. Anthony, what did you take away from this? Derek Barnes really showed out. I think it was good to see.
He did. He got the early tackle for loss, sort of set the tempo for the day there. Now, it's kind of the whole thing with him. When he was blitzing, when you're using him to that strength, he looked good. But there were a couple of times in coverage. I know there was one I got really angry with him on because it got tossed down the seam, right down the middle of the pitch. And he was just running backwards and didn't even stop to look, I think, as Freiermuth grabbed one from there. And I just got really angry with him for that. But it's not his thing. When he was blitzing, when he was against the run game, he looked really good. And that's what you want to see. You want to see the progression there. Obviously, the coverage stuff is still a concern, but, you've got to start somewhere. So I was really happy with him. And for all the slack he gets, I thought Jared Davis did really well as well. I think he started the second half, first play, tackle for loss, hit like a steam train, did really well with that. He made a few plays on the same drive. I don't think he's going to make the 53, but I do really think he's put his heart and soul into this. I think he's really tried to make this roster, and that's what you want to see. You want to see them battling. You want to see them doing well in that regard. So, yeah, the linebackers did well. When a run game doesn't work, it's not just because of a D-line. It's because you're getting back up from the second level as well. And they gave that to them tonight. Like I say, they were having to bounce out to the edge to try and find the room to run, just because there was nothing going during the middle, and we've not seen that in a long time. So, again, kudos to the linebackers. I thought overall the play was pretty decent there, and guys are putting their name forward for it.
The best performance they did all off season was this game. Rumble takeaways from the linebacking core. I don't know. I still think that, like I said, Jared Davis is on his way out. I don't think he's going to make the team. What did you think, though? Was this their best performance? What was good? What was bad? Thoughts?
Yeah. Well, this was by far their best performance, and I think it's a credit to that D line. I'm not taking anything away from the linebackers, but I think both of those groups, you could tell they were confident in one another. They looked like they were hitting their gaps, and then the linebackers were able to see the remaining gaps and say to the point that Anthony was making. Then they were having to bounce it outside because they were covering that gap. And I think those two positions were A1 today, the line and linebackers. And like you said, you could tell those guys are really playing for a roster spot. They were flying. They were getting to the ball. There were 3 or 4 Lions to the ball at all times, and it was something. So it was beautiful to see. So that's what we want out of this defense. We want those guys flying to the ball. Okay, if you miss your gap assignment, locate the ball and get there. So I was pleased with those guys today.
We're definitely going to talk about the running back situation. I see everybody in the comment section talking about it right now. Let's get to the secondary, Mark. I thought Okudah won the bet. It's over. The battle's over. Jeffrey Okudah is number 2. Will Harris, he was in the fourth quarter. Jeffrey Okudah looked good. Knocked the touchdown down. Stayed with his receiver. This was his best game that I've seen him play yet as a Detroit Lion. He's won the battle, folks. He's your starter. What do you take away from the Lions secondary in this game?
Yeah, exactly, man. I made a video just before the football game, and I was like, I need Jeff Okudah or Will Harris to stand up and just make some noise here. And hopefully it's going to be Okudah, because I think he's been, if anything, he's been probably the better corner for that cornerback 2 position this camp, for all the training camp and these joint practices and preseason. He did miss that first game, and I was like, I want him just to take over, man. And he did. He played well, man. He was excited. He was fired up. He made that beautiful pass deflection. I think it was on George Pickens too. I forget who he was covering there, but it was a big wide receiver, and he made a fantastic play. It was textbook. It was a great play. I needed to see that. He was good in the run game. He had a really nice tackle on, I think it was Harris too, earlier on too. He's very physical. He looks healthy. I needed to see that, and he was probably the best of the bunch today. The Trubisky kind of, he kind of tore apart that secondary a little bit earlier. He was very crisp. His completion percentage was extremely high. He threw for like 160 something yards or something like that and a touchdown. So, but all in all, Jeff Okudah was the best there, and we just need some other guys to step up here. Amon-Ra, man, he's starting to concern me. I know everyone's like, he's our cornerback number 1, but he got beat on that one play. It was a beautiful throw by Trubisky, by the way, but he got beat, and Awarie's been he hasn't had a good camp. He really hasn't. Everyone keeps forgetting about this, and I don't want to bash on Awarie because he's pretty much our only playmaker back there in the secondary. But I hope that, man, it's not a mental thing with him, because he's looking to get paid. He's looking to get paid, and I hope he's just not thinking about dollar signs right now, and getting himself caught up in the mix there. So, but I think he'll be okay. I think this D-line's going to help, but the secondary did step up a little bit. Deshaun Elliott had a couple big hits too as well. I thought he was hurt on one. We can't really afford to see him go down, man, Deshaun Elliott, man, but he plays like a wild man. But all in all, I thought the secondary, they got torched a bit, but Okudah did step up nicely.
For sure. We got 133 in the building. Let's get to 50 likes, 16 away. 1-6 will get us to 50 likes. Anthony, what do you think about Okudah? What do you think about the secondary as a whole? What are you concerned about? What looked good?
I think that Mark Gilbert and Cedric Boswell need leaving in Pittsburgh. They're the first 2 names on cut list next week. Mark
Gilbert done, man.
Gilbert had an awful week last week. The only reason he didn't get cut last week is because there were so many players we could put on PUP, so we could give him another chance. But, you know what they say about the definition of insanity. Just keep doing it, you get the same results. And he looked just as bad as he did last week. So him and Boswell are done. I don't want to see them in Lions uniforms again. This thing with Harris and Okudah, for me, was never a real battle. I don't think it was ever a thing. I think it was maybe done to try and spur Harris on a little bit. But, I mean, where was Okudah when you needed him today? Well, he was taking down Najee Harris when he bounced off an edge and looked like he was about to run in for a touchdown. He was breaking up passes right on the edge of the red zone. Part of those stops we made where they could only get field goals past us. Where was Will Harris when we needed him at the end of the game when we were trying to come back? He was causing a DPI penalty on 3rd and long. So he let the Steelers keep the ball. They took it longer. We didn't have enough time at the end of the game to have a go seriously back at them. That's what Will Harris was doing, giving away penalties, doing what he normally does, just letting us down. And, I'm done. I'm just so done with him. There's lots of other corners here who deserve their spot over him. Chase Lucas had another good game in spots. I'd take Chase Lucas any day of the week over Will Harris at the minute.
No doubt.
Wouldn't even give it a consideration. I did not think Chase Lucas was going to do much in camp. I thought with the depth at corner, I thought he was done for. I thought he was just a pick maybe to bring in some competition at camp and he wouldn't amount to much. Boy, was I wrong. I think he's just about earned his way onto this roster the way that he has played, and I've been really happy with him. You know, it causes problems when Jerry Jacobs comes back. You're like, God, you've got quite a few guys who can play there now. Exactly. And, you know, I think overall, we gave up the one big play to Mitch, but, you know, at the end of the day, I'll give it. Mitch put that on a bucket. He put it between two guys in a bucket. It was pretty decent. Sometimes it happens. You know, you can't, you know, you just have to deal with it. For the most part, from other than that, I thought we were pretty good there. And I think there has been some questions answered in the secondary as to who's good enough and who's not good enough. Like I say, Gilbert and Boswell are not even close to this. Harris, for me, they're going to tech him, but I think you'll not see him very much after a while. Lucas, you'll see in there. I'm happy with Akuda. I'm just so damn delighted for him.
So am I.
I know it's just preseason and he's not done out in the season yet, and there's a long ways to go, but you have to start somewhere. And for all the rubbish he's got, you have to start giving him the praise when he does well as well. You've got to keep a fair, unbiased opinion of this. He had a good game today, and I think Campbell said he's cornerback 2 now, so he's done what you asked of him. Let's see if he can do it in the proper season.
Yeah, Chase Lucas, I was watching this guy, and I was so happy to see him on there. To me, he made the team. He's a high riser right now, and he was doing good defensively, making tackles. His tackles were great. It was sound. It was not a missed tackle like we're used to seeing. Will Harris looked like cheeks. He was not good at all, and there's no doubt Chase Lucas should be ahead of him. What did you take away from the secondary, Rumble?
Yeah, to your point, Will Harris, another guy we brought back. We paid him, I believe. I don't get it, man. I don't get it with these athletes. They get paid and they think they can take a year off or whatever. But to me, it looked like he regressed. Like he forgot all the fundamentals again.
Yeah.
To your point, you said Lucas Rose. Lucas is playing hungry. He wants to be on this team. He wants to be a Detroit Lion. There were some great plays from him, like you said, a sure tackler. And he was making a play. He wasn't letting the play come to him. He was going in there and making a play. And I just think that some of our secondary, again, forgot fundamentals, forgot to whip their head around to look at the ball, and they were getting beat. Whereas if they would have just turned their head around, they could have made a play on the ball. And again, Mitchell Trubisky, he's played the Lions like over half of his career. He should be able to. He kind of knows what we're about, but kudos to the secondary. Yeah, exactly. He always gives us fits, but kudos to the secondary. To you guys' points, we know who rose and we know who kind of plummeted. So I hope and pray that they have a much more better understanding of who they're keeping and who's on the chopping block.
I kind of hope Will Harris don't even make a team. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, they paid him. I mean, they brought him in.
With this guy. I'm absolutely done. You know, he played better last year going to cornerback, but he regressed back to his safety ways. It looked like it looked terrible today.
It's a sick world we live in, isn't it? When we can own a quarterback like Kyler Murray, yet Mitchell Trubisky makes it look like, you know. I just hope we never play him again. I'm done. I'm just like, screw it. I'd put him on our team just so he can't play against us. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
It really
what about
is.
Xavier Smith?
Life's anomalies.
This is an interesting one because on one drive he got roasted the whole drive. It was like they kept attacking it. But other than that, he had some good plays. What do you think, Anthony, about Xavier Smith?
Well, I kind of got egg on my face here because I put out a really nice tweet about him because one drive, like you said, I think he was involved in 3 plays successively, made the play every single time, forced them into a 3-and-out. The next one was that touchdown drive where I think it was, 9 successive passes? At least 3 of them were on him. It was probably more. And it was just time after time after time he was getting burnt. I'm just like, I've just been really nice about this guy. And then he went and did this. And I mean, it was basics. He wasn't getting his head around. He wasn't looking where the ball was. It's like, surely as a DB, that is like one of your most prime, things to do. Look where the damn ball is so you can make the play. And he wasn't. It was just basic stuff. And I think it's what you get from a guy like him. It's, I think we just bought him. We bought him in, I guess, think he was as a free agent last year. I think we got him, didn't we? We got him off the free agency market. It's kind of,
Yeah, middle of the
you get the
year.
good
Yeah, middle
with
of
the
the year.
bad. You get the good with the bad, and unfortunately, you got a bit of both. But that bad drive, I think he just played himself out of it because he didn't show the basic fundamentals you needed. It was awful. So, kudos to him for doing well, but it was just a case of 50-50, and sort of you felt worse for the bad than you did better for the good.
Let's get to 70 likes, folks. We got 170 in the building. That's 19 more likes to go. The more likes we get, it pushes this content out there. Let's talk really quick about special teams, then we'll go to offense. To me, it looks like we know who the kicker is. Siebert looks like he's going to be the kicker for the Detroit Lions.
Yep. Nothing
there. Interesting with kick returner. I have no idea who the hell is going to be this guy. Because I don't think Maurice Alexander's got. Did he even get a kick return at all, or was he in part? I don't think so.
He was on part of a punt return.
He got one.
One? Okay.
He got one right at the start of the second half.
I have no idea. Any thoughts on who potentially could be? I don't know. I felt like every play was someone different. So.
Well, I don't get, because Campbell called Igwe Fumble his damn kick returner for the season, didn't he? And I'm like, what's he done to deserve that?
Yeah.
He's rarely played in the preseason, and he made mistakes in games last year. So I don't get the confidence behind naming Godwin as his starting kick returner.
Yeah.
I feel that's wrong. I mean, who was it today? It was the running back Jackson who was taking them, wasn't he? He looked good as
Craig Reynolds had it. I was
shocked.
Reynolds did.
Craig Reynolds? That's what I was thinking. That Craig Reynolds? What the hell is he doing back there?
I think they think that the battle. I think between Jamar, Craig Reynolds, and Jackson, I think the battle's that close. They're trying to see who is better at special teams to take them going forward. I think that's the reasoning behind it. It must be. You need to take your running back 3 and 4 need to be good on special teams. So I think they were testing them all out in regards to that.
Let's jump to the offense now. Okay, we're going to start with the running back position. Jamar Jefferson, Jackson, or Godwin. Jamar's done. He's not going to be a Detroit Lion. In my opinion, he looked bad today. He regressed from last year. Jackson, I think he made the team as the backup running back. He got used a lot in this game. Maybe you guys differ from me. What do you think, Mark Orem, that number 4 spot at running back?
Yeah, that number 4, man, that's a battle going on right now. We got a lot of Justin Jackson today. I think they really wanted to see what he was all about, like we talked about just a couple minutes ago, taking back kicks and stuff like that. So he's got some special team ability to him. I think he's the better runner of Jamar Jefferson. Like you said, Mike, I totally agree with you about Jamar Jefferson. I think he's either going to be a practice squad guy or they're going to flat out, release him. He had that one nice run on that 3rd and 17, but basically after that, he doesn't look like he runs that hard. So I'm not too sure about Jamar Jefferson. So, and I know Deuce Staley's not going to put up with that kind of stuff. So, if they're going to carry 5 running backs, I think that's, it's going to be like, because Kabinda's obviously on PUP. So are they going to carry 5? Or is Justin Jackson going to be even a part of this of this running back by committee? Because I don't think they're going to – he's either going to get flat out cut, Justin Jackson. They're not going to put him on the practice squad. They're not going to do that to him because he's just going to get picked up right away. They'll release him so he can go to another team. But Godwin Igwebuike, like he's another guy. He's very versatile. He can even play safety if we really, really needed to. We don't want him at safety, but he's a good special teamer as well, too. He's a kick returner. So they got some decisions to make, but I think their 1 through 3 is already set. It's obviously Swift, Jamal, and Craig Reynolds. But now that number 4, are they going to carry 5? Because I think Justin Jackson, I think he deserves, if anything, he deserves to be on this roster. The guy run hard. He runs very hard. He's smart. He's a smart runner. He's a good blocker. He does everything you want. So, and then you got Godwin Igwebuike. So it's going to be tough, man. They're either going to carry 4 or they're going to cut somebody and someone's going to get scooped up really quick.
Rumble, Q or RB4. What is your thoughts? I think Jamar's done personally. Like I said before, I think it's Jackson's job. That's my personal opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm right there with you again. I don't know what's up with these players regressing, man. They did everything to make the team and to be in the position they're in, and yet here they are again. They're just they. I don't want to say they don't want it, but for whatever reason, they did not show up. And another guy, like you said, Jackson, just stepping up to the plate. He seems hungry. He's making the right moves. He's athletic. He's fast. He's showing all his weapons right now. And to Mark's point, if this is what they want to do, be run heavy and dictate the pace of the ball, I think we might keep 5 running backs. I think these guys might have various packages where they can, um, run 5 wide, or I mean, run 5 running backs and just really tire defenses. So I'll be interested to see as well. But like you said, I think Jackson earned his spot. I think oh my goodness, I can't remember his name now. I think he's gone. I just
Jamar?
don't see Jamar. I just don't see. Is he injured? Clearly not, because he was out there. I don't know, but he kind of regressed badly.
He's regressed from last year. It feels,
Yeah.
my God, I don't know what's going on with him, but I do know that if you're not subscribed to this channel, you're crazy. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to Lions Nation Unite. It's where you're going to get the post-game shows, folks, on this channel. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out. Anthony, RB4, what do you got? What do you think?
It's tough, isn't it? I genuinely don't know at this moment in time. You say Jackson has come in and done everything you pretty much wanted from him there. You can't ask more from him than that. I think Reynolds has been really good. He waited a long time in the team last season. He was very patient. He could have gone elsewhere. He didn't. He took his opportunities, showed the right attitude again, and he's done well in the preseason here. And you know what? Everyone's ragging on Jamar, but I've always been one of the ones who believed in him very strongly. And I think, there's one phrase I've not heard from any of you when you've talked about the running backs here in what they bring to this team, and that's pass protection. Running backs don't just run the ball. You need running backs who can pass protect and do that aspect of the game as well. And I know Jamar has not done well running this year. Today he was on a hide into nothing. He got the starting reps when we were letting TJ Watt run unanswered off the edge. He was getting hit in the backfield. It didn't stand a chance. It wasn't just him. When we started running in this game, it was awful. We did not seal the edges. We didn't give our running backs a chance to make a play. But Jamar has pass blocked better than the rest of them this preseason, and it's not really even been close. He brings that aspect to the game there, so you can't count him out. He converted, a 3rd and 20 today? Don't forget, the one time he did get a gap in through the middle, you saw what he's capable of. You saw what he was capable of in the league last year in stretches before he got injured. I think it's very unwise just to rule him out at this point in time because, like I say, Reynolds, Jackson, I don't think they pass protect as well as him, and I think you need that in this game. You really, really do. So I think the three of them are in a three-way battle, and I think, I'm probably going to end up disappointed because he probably is going to go, but I don't think it's as cut and dry as maybe some are making it out to be.
Offensive line. Takeaways from the offensive line, Mark. Starters and backup. My takeaway for starters, Taylor Decker continues to get flags. This is a recurrent theme with him. Other than that, pass protection seemed okay. Backups did good, opening up the holes. The interior, Brown. I thought Stenberg did good as well. What is your thoughts on offensive line?
Yeah, I thought most of the offensive line, they were a little bit scattered today. A lot of penalties early on.
Yep.
Decker with, I think he had 2 right off the jump. Sewell looked a little bit confused on the one blitz where TJ Watt got in there and he forgot to go up on him. And other than that, I thought they were pretty good, man. I thought Ragnow played pretty well. It looked like it was Ragnow in the beginning there. I think it was the whole offensive line at the start, right? So, they played well. I thought they opened up a couple holes. It was just they were just a little bit scattered today, man. I just thought the offense was just really, really stale. It wasn't just Boyle. It wasn't just Blau. They pass protected decently. I wouldn't say they did a great job. Pittsburgh created some pressure. That's what they do, though. Pittsburgh's got that even their backups, man, they have a really good deep front, man. They just get to the quarterback. They get in that backfield. So I thought they did a pretty decent job, but they just need to clean up so much, man. Like the penalties with Decker, just they're so frustrating.
Yeah.
They're very frustrating. Jackson, I think, had one or two as well. He had a hold, and then and then Sewell with a couple mishaps as well. So, they just need to clean up some stuff, and I think they'll be better as the year goes on. But man, clean it up now before that Philadelphia game, because that defensive front is no joke. That defensive front is no joke, man. They have a pretty good D line in Philly, and they're going to be dealing with a couple bosses over there. So they need to clean up a bit for sure.
Penalties was a pain.
Yeah.
Rumble. Takeaways from the Lions offensive line starters and backups.
Again, I don't know what team he's playing for, but year after year, he's a walk-in penalty. You can guarantee he's going to get several penalties, especially during key points of the game where it seems like the offense is rolling, or we just made a good play, but it comes back because he's holding, and it's like you can't hold, man. Move your feet. Find out why you're holding. Change your technique. Like we can't have that, because we're already so like with the talent on this team. Any big plays that we get is just off pure heart. So for you to just sit there and be lazy at play and hold and do these things, you're not teaching the guys to the left or right of you. They feel like they're not going to be able to trust you, and then you just create a chink in the armor. So definitely got to clean that up. Sewell, okay, you starting to look like a rookie this game. There were some points where I just felt like they weren't engaging. Looked like Pittsburgh was playing off the line a little bit and allowing themselves to get a run and start, and our guys were just sitting there and they'd do their first assignment, and then they wouldn't engage no more after that. So again, we know it's preseason, so maybe they're trying not to get hurt, but yeah, we definitely need to patch up some of those mistakes, because that first week we're already going to be in the jungle with the Philly, so we need to definitely make sure that we clean those mistakes up, so we're not beating ourselves. It's one thing to get beat by a team. It's another thing to beat yourselves with penalties and mistakes. And we can't afford to lose Jared Goff. We can't afford to lose, our prized possession at this point in Jared Goff. So they got to clean those up.
And I agree with a lot of people in the comment section. I think the referees were antsy today, because it was on both teams. This is flag heavy. I hate that. Hopefully we don't get this referee group in the regular season just penalty heavy. I felt like, God dang, they're a little overdoing it there. But, yeah, we got to clean up the penalties, no doubt. It was awful. Anthony, offensive line starting, backups. Who do you think won maybe the backup position for the guard? What do you got?
I mean, the backups looked really bad on that last drive. There was lots of pressure all the time. It seems like they really struggled today. I mean, the starters, I'm not going to lay into too much. I know Decker and Jackson both got holding penalties, but I'm going to stick up for them and say that's because Tim Boyle takes an hour to throw the ball.
Yeah.
There is only so long you can hold on to an edge before, a block becomes a hold. And I counted one of the passes where we got flagged at nearly 5 seconds. That's a long time to not hold a guy when you're trying to throw. I think it's on the backups, the reason that they're not performing as well. I think, there might have been some individual mistakes, but I'm going to go back and check, but I'm pretty sure it's because they're holding on to it. That's why. So I don't think it's as big an issue there. The backups, I mean, interior, I think we're fine. I think Stenberg, Kramer, and Brown are really good backups on that interior. It's like quarterback 2 at this stage. Backup tackle, I'm just like pleading, I'm begging, I'm screaming. I just need somebody who isn't named Matt Nelson or Dan Skipper or Darren Paolo. I'm done. I'm ready to launch them all into space, because I just don't want to see them no more. There has to be a better option for a backup swing tackle out there.
That could be a pickup on the waiver wire too.
Different.
I
think it will be.
Yeah.
I think the way that Eze's been represented on Hard Knocks and that, I think he's struggling. I couldn't really tell you what much of that happened with him today, but I think he's struggling. And I think that was always the case. I reckon Eze's going to go on the practice squad while we develop him. And I'm perfectly fine with that because I think give him a year or two, you will develop a serviceable backup rotational tackle out of him. Absolutely. But in the short term, man, we saw it cost us last year. We really need to invest at backup tackle this year because it could be just as bad as Goff going down. We saw what happened last year when there was no Decker and it was Nelson in all the time. It was horrible. And we don't want to go back there again. So, interior, I'm really happy. Tackle wise, I'm really, really, really concerned.
I'm concerned that we don't have 100 likes right now. Right now we need 22 likes to get there. Go ahead and smash that like button. 240 in the building on a post-game show. We appreciate you and LNU, and I'm going to make sure I tell Herman Moore the amount of people that showed up, and which is absolutely amazing. Let's get into tight ends. A lot. I don't know who's going to win 3-4. I felt like there's no answer in this one. Zylstra dropped a pass, caught one. Funches didn't do anything. Mitchell didn't really do anything. What'd you see, Mark? 'Cause this one was, I don't know. You throw a coin up in the air, and kind of go with that.
Nobody really stood out there, man. I missed most of the fourth quarter, to be honest with you. I was kind of up and down. I was doing a fantasy football draft, so from what I've seen, man, I think it's it's obviously Hawk and it's Brock Wright are going to be your 1s and 2, and then 3. Yeah, flip a coin. Like I don't really know who stuck out. Like it's always there always seems to be a new face, kind of when they're talking about this this tight end 3 situation. Mitchell hasn't done nothing. He's slowly coming back. He's playing now. He's healthy. He's finally healthy. And then one day it's Zylstra. You hear a lot about Zylstra playing well. I think Zylstra will be a part of this team now because he plays a lot of special teams. And he does have a really good he's a really good receiver as a tight end, and he was an excellent wide receiver in college, St. Zylstra. He put a little bit of size. Now he's a tight end, and he's improved his blocking tremendously. So, but I don't know who they're going to make tight end 3, man. I couldn't even are they going to carry 3? They're going to carry 4? I know Campbell has said that he wants a different style of tight end. He wants a hybrid. He wants a receiver, and then he wants a guy that could just strictly block. They got rid of the guy that can block in Garrett Griffin. They got rid of him, so because I think they really like what Shane Zylstra has done. So my kind of call is it's going to be Mitchell, but don't be surprised if you see a lot of Shane Zylstra this year coming in for some tight end 3 work.
What do you got there, Anthony, on tight end 3-4?
I was surprised we didn't see more of them today. You know what? I went through that whole broadcast, and I don't think I heard a tight end's name mentioned other than TJ. I didn't hear Zylstra's name. I didn't hear Wright's name. I didn't hear Mitchell's name. And I'm like, that's surprising, given that the depth issue on tight end is one of the few problems on offense we've got to solve outside of tackle, really, and running back 3. So I don't know. I was really sort of shocked they didn't use them a bit more there. I mean, my gut tells me they're going to go with Brock Wright. He earned his spot on the roster last year, and I'm a big fan of James Mitchell. You've just invested a 5th round pick in him. Let's not be like Bob Quinn and just cut them before they even make the roster. Mitchell's got the potential to be really good and was only down that far in the draft because he got so badly injured last year. He's fit and he's healthy now. Let's see what we've got with him. Let's give him a chance. I think the likes of Zylstra and that will probably clear the wire and get onto the practice squad, because we know what we can do with Shane Zylstra. Other teams won't. We know he's good enough. So I still think Wright and Mitchell get there, but yeah, I was surprised we didn't use them more tonight because I felt like that was a pressing question that needed answering.
Devin Funches, I don't think he makes the team, and it sucks because, in all honesty, he was open. I seen that comment there. Quarterbacks just couldn't give him the football. It's bad for these receivers or players trying to make a team when your quarterbacks suck. And we're going to get to the wide receivers right now. Khalil Pimpleton's not making a team, folks. He dropped the touchdown. It's not happening. And he had other drops, too, in this game. So we know that's not going down. Trinity Benson, Mark Orem, we're going to go through these receivers. Trinity Benson, do you think he makes it?
Oh, man, he didn't show out today. He had 1 catch, right? 1 catch. Do I think he makes it? Man, he plays special teams, and this team man, they covered it. And Cephas had the touchdown.
Yep.
Man, I can't give you a straight answer. You know what? I'm going to say he doesn't make it, though. I'm going to say he doesn't.
What do you got, Rumble? Wide receivers here. A lot of interesting
Yeah,
ones.
to you guys' points, the quarterbacks were not making it easy, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Again, Boyle overthrew Trinity Benson in the middle of the field, and the broadcasters were making it known too, man. The guy was in his break, the ball already needed to be gone. Instead, he waited till he turned around till he saw his face mask, his numbers on his jersey, and again, you can't do that in NFL, man. You have a split second to let that thing rip and make a play. So it's going to be hard, man. And the thing with Funchess, we know he's a good red zone target. So do you keep him there, or do you move him to wide receiver? Like there's so many questions there. But poor Benson, the balls that were tossed to him, he really didn't wow me. And to your point, one was overthrown. One wasn't even on target. So it's bad. It's bad when your quarterback makes you look that bad.
Steve-O, baby, to answer your question, absolutely. Season's over if Jared Goff goes down. It's not even close. What do you think about Trinity Benson there, Anthony? This wide receiver 5 or wide receiver 6 is tough, man.
It is. I'm angry at Khalil Pimpleton for Khalil Pimpleton.
Yeah.
I love him as a player. I really, really do. Ever since I watched him tour at Western last year for Central, I think there's something special about him, and I believe he has what it takes at this level. To see him drop one last week, to see him drop another this week, 2 touchdowns, his way onto the roster, that's his opportunity. That's what he wants. To see him drop them, it just made me mad. But it made me mad for him because it's like, he could do something here. He could be really good here. And there's no one I'm more frustrated with than him because I wanted them to succeed than Khalil Pimpleton. And I'm just so angry. I just really wanted him to do well here. I think Benson's done. I think the only reason he gets on the roster is Brad Holmes has a word in the ear of Dan Campbell and goes, remember, I spent picks on this guy.
Yeah.
I'm not suggesting he would do that for 1 second, but I think that would be the only thing that keeps Benson around is the fact that there's capital invested in him. But I think outside of that, the spots are sewn up. Cephas' spot was never in danger. He showed today. I know he only had the one pass, but it was a good catch on a dodgy throw. It was Cephas has done it against this level, and I'm sick and tired of this whole we should maybe take Tom Kennedy over Quintez Cephas debate. No, sorry. Cephas is younger by 2 years. Cephas has done it at the NFL level against NFL caliber cornerbacks, not, guys that train in day in the 3s and the 2s. Quintez Cephas' spot should never have been in doubt. He's going to be in the squad, and I'm going to enjoy it. Obviously, you're going to take Reynolds. You're going to take Raymond. I think it's all sorted out now, but Benson ain't the guy.
I met Khalil Pimpleton, talked to him. Very nice guy, very humble. Just a real awesome dude. And I told him I'm rooting for him. He's like, I really appreciate it. I think he makes the practice squad. I think that's good for him. But yeah, it was going to be hard for him to make the team, but let him sit on the practice squad and develop. He does have elite speed. You've seen it in there. He can, but he's got to learn to catch the football. Talk about Tom Kennedy. He actually dropped a touchdown pass in this game. It was a perfect thrown ball, had it in his hands, and dropped it. That's going to hurt his case. It is going to hurt his case. Does Kennedy make the team, Rumble?
Oof. Man, again, you have a weapon in him. He's showed out in the preseason so far. He had a game where he absolutely went nuts. But then again, you do have Funchess there too, who does have some experience in NFL as a starter. And again, that's another red zone target, man. The guy's 6'5". It's going to be hard, man. Off the top of my dome, do I think he makes a team? I'm going to go no. I think he'll be a practice, if anything, but he's not. It's going to be hard to have him make the roster. You just have a weapon there in Funchess. Even if you do primarily use him in the red zone, I think I'd take my chances with a guy who's 6'5" and who can jump. And I don't care if the quarterback gets in his vicinity, he can make a play on the ball. It's like having a tight end at wideout. So I'm going to see what kind of various packages that Ben Johnson runs, but right now you see those cornerbacks out there today, man. They were smothering Tom Kennedy. They all but took him out the game. And in one catch that he was supposed to make, it was very contested. The cornerback was on his hip. There was no room for error, and just that little bit of uncertainty, he dropped the ball, and it got into his own head. So I think it's going to be hard to keep him and cut Funchess, especially with our red zone. We need red zone help, and he was in the red zone package, and he dropped the ball. So yeah, I don't know, man. I'm leaning towards no.
Okay, then Ian, it's going to be a tough one. We're going to find out.
Yeah.
Do the Lions, if Mason Rudolph is released, we got the second pick in waiver wire. Should the Lions pick Mason Rudolph to back up Jared Goff? Mark Orem.
100% yes. Man, I'm ready to go over there and start throwing some footballs for this team, man, because this situation is terrible. If they can grab him on a waiver wire, if he gets released, you're probably not going to get nothing in a trade for him. They're not even showcasing the guy, really. You know what I mean? It's like, so you might as well just pick him up, man, because this backup quarterback situation we have is horrible. Mason Rudolph's got some experience. He's won a few games. Obviously, he's on a better team than the Detroit Lions. I know Blau and Boyle, they don't have one single win in any of their starts. But it takes a team effort. But Mason Rudolph is 10 times better than David Blau or Tim Boyle. So, yeah, pick him up, man. Bring him in. And, your quarterback situation just got a lot better. It's not a Super Bowl winning move or anything like that, but it shows that they want to get better. And they're not just going to be content with just sticking with a guy like a David Blau or, God forbid, a Tim Boyle. So, yeah, pick him up 100%, yes.
Anthony, would you pick off Mason Rudolph if he's released?
I don't know. It kind of feels like, replacing Tweedledee with Tweedledum. I don't get it with them. It's maybe I just, at this point with your back, I kind of want to take a chance on a guy who maybe has something to prove. I feel like Mason's had a chance to establish himself as a starter or at least a valued piece in Pittsburgh and has not done so in a time when, they've been struggling. Ben's been declining for years. Mitch is the presumed starter there at the minute. It ain't a high level, but, if they cut him, then put in a waiver request for him, bring him in, see what he does. That's fine. But don't give up capital for him. I think, there are going to be guys who we're going to cut, or who are going to be cut, who we can get him for free and try. Yeah, no capital for him. But put the waiver wire in if he's cut, when he probably should be.
Put in a waiver wire for a quarterback. Let's just hope someone else besides the ones that we got is not our QB. That's what I'm praying for right now, man. We need somebody else. But, folks, we've been on for over an hour. It is almost 10:10 here in the great state of Michigan. I'm tired. I know Anthony is freaking tired. Everybody's tired. And you guys showed up. We got 1,000 views in here with 275. It is a record-breaking stream for LNU, awesome. 280. So shout out to you. Absolutely amazing. What a week, 2 weeks till Lions play regular game. Enjoy next week's Sunday off. It's going to be crazy, man. We're going to see what they do. With that said, folks, adios.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan. Your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour. Take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder. Work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters. They're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.